From Bergstrom Court at Minnehaha Academy, we welcome you to the final week of regular season play in high school girls basketball. A non-conference game featuring a pair of angry birds, the Waseca Blue Jays at 20-5, visiting the Minnehaha Academy Redhawks at 21-3. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Beaton. Thank you for joining us. As we mentioned, the last week of regular season play. And for both schools, their conference portion is over. Minnehaha Academy won the inaugural IMAC championship. That's the Independent Metro Athletic Conference, not an Apple plug. Winning with an undefeated mark, capping off that run against Providence Academy a couple weeks ago with a 49-39 win. Since then, some very tight games, which Josh Duro believes will help his team prepare for another postseason run. Minnehaha has gone to 7 of the last 8, would like to increase that streak this season. On Friday, they took on Martin County West, one of the top teams in 2A, and emerged with a 54-50 win. Sarah Kaminski was instrumental in that victory with 24 points and has come up big in these tight games that have tested Minnehaha's resolve. Prior to these last 3 games, many blowouts, not a lot of action, not a lot of opportunities to get a feel for high-pressure situations. Different story here. Redhawks are coming off a 1-point win last night against Concordia Academy, 49-48. Tara Rhodes was a hero in that one, leading the team in scoring and hitting a game-winning 3-point shot with 7 seconds to go. One of the ugliest games in terms of shooting efficiency, but Josh was pleased that they found a way to win. And as you know, games don't always have to be pretty. You just have to be good enough to get that victory. Kaminski is the player to watch, and as we get later in the season, expect her to take more of a leadership role. We mentioned Minnehaha's balance is partially because of the litany of blowouts they've had in this 13 or 14-game winning streak. But as we get closer and as Minnehaha takes on tougher opponents, you're going to see those key players find ways to contribute. Waseca finished second in the Big South Championship. They lost to Marshall in the inaugural Big South Conference title game. They won in their division, but because of the geographical nature, they don't get the same number of games. But Waseca having its best year since 2005-06 when they went 21-3. They have a chance to match that win total tonight. This is their final game of the regular season. And Joan Conway mentioned this group is getting it done with defense, a senior-heavy load. Michaela Rowling is the only player averaging double digits in scoring, but Waseca's not a team worried about running up the score. If they can keep this one low, it will work in their favor. Inside, Kirsten Simmons is the player to watch. She's averaging close to a double-double. But this is a team that simply finds a way to multitask effectively. Waseca, you may know them as a giant band school, not well known for their basketball prowess, but they're hoping to change that this year. And at 20-5 could be a dark horse to get into the state tournament. Starting lineups are coming in a moment. This is high school girls basketball.
And game officials, thank you. Now let's move the starting.
Welcome everyone to Bergstrom Court, home of the Minnehaha Academy Redhawks, and I'm in a unorthodox position tonight. I'm actually at the corner of the bleachers facing this side, so I'm actually looking at the Waseca bench from here. Just a couple of logistics we had to work out, so I'm going to get a bird's eye view of the action tonight, but that's all right because we have a couple of birds looking to nest a victory to close out the season. Minnehaha will play one more game after this, a road game at Heritage Christian before they start section play. They're expected to be the number 1 seed in Section 4AA. Waseca in Section 2, I believe, and Casson Manorville and Winona are opponents they'll have to keep an eye on. Here's a look at the starting 5 for the Waseca Blue Jays. It's number 12, Michaela Rowling, 5'8" senior guard. Number 22, Sam Hiller, 5'8" senior forward. Number 23, Aubrey Hyam, 5'10" junior guard. Number 24, Katie Telusty, 5'8" senior forward. And number 50, Kirsten Simmons, 5'11" senior center. Minnehaha Academy will start. Number 5, Angela Sharp, 5'9" senior forward. Number 13, Lily Tomey, 6'1" senior center. Number 15, Gracia Gilreath, 5'5" senior guard. Number 23, Tara Rhodes, 5'6", freshman guard, and number 24, Sarah Kaminski, 5'9", junior guard. Waseca, we noted, 20-5, coming off a win over St. Clair, and then that loss to Marshall in the Big South Championship. And these games, the losses that Waseca has incurred have been pretty close. They lost to Waconia, a team we've covered twice, back in January. Really struggled against Cass and Manorville. Coach Joan Conway thought they didn't respond well, but they saw improvement with Marshall. And again, Waseca, a defensively oriented team. So they're not worried about running up the score. They want to keep the number of points on the lower end. Minnehaha can go high if they want to. They have a pretty deep team for 2A standards, as we saw in that victory over Minneapolis South. Betsy Elliott had a great game in the post. Even though she's listed as a guard, we'll probably see her throughout this contest. Again, our final week of regular season play. Section play will commence after this. And both teams looking to get a tune-up. Minnehaha wearing the black. They're not as concerned about this one. That doesn't mean they don't want to get a win, though. Waseca, three-pointers off the mark from 23. That was Aubrey Hyam going too high. Redhawks on the fast break. That's off the mark from Tara Rhodes, and the rebound by 22. That is Sam Hiller. Waseca had primarily three players who can score, traveling violation, and that's Katie Talusty. Talusty is one of them. But Minnehaha not as concerned about the implications of this one because Waseca is a 3A school. But with only one game left, you want to get yourself polished. And they'd like to increase that winning streak to 15 games. Since the start of that streak, the Redhawks went from unranked, they only go by the top 10 in the state polls, and have surged all the way to third. Dover-Eyota is still number one, but Minnehaha making a statement here in the closing stages of the season. Kaminski thought about a three. As we noted in the last broadcast, Minnehaha effectively has 2 point guards. Scharf, baseline deuce is off the mark. Last touched by Tomey. Thought it was off of Talusty, but the official says otherwise. 16:57 left in the first half. Still no score between the Blue Jays and the Redhawks. I'm Mike Beaton, and I'm by myself, talking to myself. That's chaos theory. And I just quoted a line for Jurassic Park. Tara Rhodes missing the layup, and the rebound went to Simmons. Talusty inside, and the baseline deuce is off the mark. Shooting not off to a strong start for either school, and Minnehaha in the last game had some trouble finding the basket as well. Made a total of 17 shots in the first half. They went 7 of 42. Rhodes drives and blocked from behind by Talusty. It will stay with the Redhawks, but the Redhawks and the back end of a back-to-back, but that's what you're going to get. Actually, because of the class they play in, it's more likely that they could get. It's more likely they'll get. Well, no, that's only a 1A. I thought they played 3 games in 3 days, but that's only the 1A bracket. So those back-to-back games, you're going to deal with that at least once at the state tournament because of the tight schedule. Here's Gracia Gilreath, the National Latin Scholar, fires the 15-footer and switches it. Our first basket of the game and a foul on the Redhawks. Sarah Kaminski picks it up. Joan Conway in her 3rd season with the Blue Jays. As we mentioned, their best season in 9 years. Here, that was rolling. And now, missing the mid-range J was Hiller. Minnehaha, oh, that was nearly a traveling violation. Rhodes wasn't ready for the pass, but they get themselves composed. Kaminski faking the pass to Gilreath. Skip pass to Rhodes. Skip. Kick out. Kaminski for 3. Got it. Minnehaha shaking off that rust. They have a 5-0 lead. Talusty. Long pass almost picked off. Deflected off of the Red Hawks. It will stay here. Hiller takes it herself, no good. Scramble for the ball, and it's off of Minnehaha. So Simmons wins that scrum. Rolling, Simmons, and Talusty are the three offensive weapons for Waseca. Rolling, going baseline, kick out to Simmons. Long two is off the mark. Rebound by Tomey. Tomey has had some strong games as of late. Skips it over to Scharf. Wanted to go back out. Tomey, I think, wanted a foul. She did get bumped, but they didn't see it. The officials didn't, and so Josh Thurl calls timeout. Minnehaha up 5-0 with 14:44 left in the first half. For those who are concerned about Minnehaha's lack of tests entering the postseason, we talked about those close calls they've had. Josh Thurl mentioned the Martin County West matchup felt like a playoff game, and he sees that as a team they could run into at the state tournament, Martin County West, in a different section. The win over Providence to win the IMAC championship was moved into the middle school gym because there was a conflict. A section wrestling meet was held here at the Bergstrom court, so they had to move it over to the middle school gym. The first time the team has ever played in that facility for a varsity game. Minnehaha, as you know, has two campuses. This is the main one, and the middle school campus not far away. In the Martin County West game, Red Hawks led 18-3 early. Or I should say that Providence game, they fire back with some shooters. Kaminski finished out with 24 points, 12 rebounds in the Martin County West game. And look out! Rolling gets the layup and causes our camera operator at the baseline to duck. That's Joel, who had to run for cover. Tomey, 14-footer, bounces out. Rebound Simmons. Here's Rolling, out to Simmons. Rolling, the point guard and two-year captain for the Blue Jays. Hiller has it now. Out to Rolling. Simmons bounces over, now back to Simmons. Simmons drawing the double team, and the rainbow floater is good. Aubrey Hyam with the first basket. Hyam also takes part in track and band. They normally start because of their defense, but they do come up with some offense here and there. Rhodes was looking for the entry pass, and it's almost picked off by Hyam. I should say Sam Hiller. Emily Karsten and Madison Gelhoff on the floor for the Blue Jays. Kaminski can't shoot over everybody, and Avery New on the floor for the Red Hawks. She is an 8th grade center. Talusty, pump fakes. Goes out to Rolling. Kicks out from the hole. Simmons drains a long deuce. Simmons with her first basket. Waseca has scored the last 6. They lead 6-5. Foul. And free throws coming. The foul is on Simmons, her first. And Gracia Gilreath to the line. Don't have her free throw numbers, but we can tell you that she is an academic all-state candidate. She will also take part in the All-Star Series in April And one of the coaches is the coach on the sideline right now, Josh Thorough, getting the nod this year, and perhaps an omen for him. The last time he was selected, as his daughter Megan Thorough takes the floor, the last time Josh was selected to take part in the All-Star Series, his team won a state championship. That was back in 2010. We'll see if that happens again this year. Gilreath gets the back end, and we're tied at 6. Gilreath, a National Latin Scholar, honor roll student. And Karsten missing the J. Tomey with the rebound. Gilreath skips it to New. Gilreath is more of the slasher, Kaminski more of the spot-up perimeter shooter, and Megan Thorough was blocked by Talusty. We're going the other way. Skip pass almost over, but Karsten recovers it. Simmons in trouble, goes back out to Karsten. A little unsure of herself there. And bounces out to Rolling, where she'll reset. That lob is deflected and picked off by Gilreath. Gilreath bouncing over, tried to find Kaminski, and won't be able to do so. Waseca getting in the passing lane just in time. They force the turnover. Waseca holding high expectations of themselves. Talusty missing the baseline J. Picked up by Karsten. She fires. Tomey, I thought that was a block. Instead, it's free throws coming for Emily Karsten. Karsten this season, 55%, 26 of 47. Averages about 3.5 a game. On the floor for the Blue Jays, number 5, Taylor Hiller among them. And Hyam going back in. Karsten missing both. And a foul on Waseca. Fouls on Karsten first, and both teams with 2 fouls. 11:03 left. Not a lot of scoring yet, but that could change in a hurry. Last time we were at Minnehaha, they ran away to an 84-53 win over the Minneapolis South Tigers. Thorough. Oh, that pass was read well by Rolling. She has one-on-one coverage, but Gilreath pushes her away to stop the fast break. Heads up play by Gilreath. And now Tomey intercepts the entry pass. Kaminski weaves around one block, gets through another, and can't put it in. Rebound by Galoff. Rolling. No. Gilreath with the rebound after it bounces around. Shooting at a premium here. We're still at 6 with 10:13 left in the first. We've been stuck at 6 for a while. Yeah, Minnehaha hasn't been performing well offensively as of late. Gilreath can't do that. The 16-footer's too high, I should say, can't end that rut. So a big opportunity here for both schools if one can find the basket. I am in trouble. And Waseca couldn't help her out. Desperation pass ends up in the hands of Kaminski. And now they'll run it set. Sarah Kaminski, as we noted before, recently passed 1,000 points. Big basketball junkie, also a National French Scholar from last year. Avery New is ripped away by the Waseca defense. That shot is too high from number 3, Brianna Karsten. She and Emily are identical twins. And we're going to get some massive substitutions here, and I think that's much needed for both teams. They were getting a little tired out there, as scoring has been a problem. Betsy Elliott is on the floor now for the Redhawks. A guard who is very tough to move. Had a big game against South and shut down Morgan Hill. Simmons, long skip to DeLusty, over to Hiller. Karsten up, no bounce, oh boy. And a foul from behind on Emily Karsten. I don't know if this is a game either school envisioned. Kaminski was a recent feature on the Star Tribune for her recent success, and the entry pass was deflected by Simmons. It was intended for Elliott. Kaminski will inbound it. And as a whole, this team, they mentioned they are not interested in winning those early tournaments. They want to win the big one in March. Elliott with the O-board after New missed. She'll kick out. And Tatum Rhodes is on the floor for the Redhawks, wearing number 0. Kaminski, bullseye! That ends the drought of about 6.5 minutes. And a timeout being taken by Minnehaha, their second. They have 3 remaining. Kaminski, again, featured on a Q&A in the Star Tribune. And came off an ACL tear, doing very well in her junior season. As we mentioned, a National French Scholar last year, placed highly in that competition in her division. Always good to see. And Minnehaha as a whole, very academically bright kids. And the same can be said for Waseca. Their team GPA is 3.86, and I imagine Minnehaha's is up there. Not that hard when you've got some academic all-state members or candidates in your lineup. To finish up that point about Minnehaha, you wonder, well, would they rather have close games or runaways? And Josh Thoreau said he would not hesitate if every game of his was a 25, 30-point win. But he says he's happy that his team has had to figure out how to close games in tight finishes. And he really appreciated the leadership that Kaminski and Tomey showed in these recent set of games. And how about Tara Rhodes? Maybe a freshman, but came up big in that win over Concordia Academy yesterday. Waseca trying to run the floor, and it goes into the hands of Elliott. There's Rhodes. She kicks out. Kaminski is feeling it. Kaminski with their 3rd triple, and it's a 12-6 margin. Minnehaha finally getting that burst. The inbound pass deflected, stolen by Scharf. Rhodes can't handle it, and it goes into the hands of Simmons. Waseca doesn't have the numbers for fast break, and again, they're not a fast-paced team, so they'll back off. We mentioned that Big South game as Scharf draws the foul. The Big South Championship against Marshall. If that name sounds familiar, Marshall was in that triple overtime thriller last year with Park Center and the Class 3A state championship. They ultimately came up short. They had the upper hand, and we've got some fans in front of us here. Looks like a fan section. This is the last. I think they're trying to get the fans going. Anyway, this is the last home game of the year for the Redhawks in the regular season. Jump ball, and the possession arrow favors the Redhawks. I don't know what those fans were standing up for, but Omar Ramirez gets them in order. The athletic director, Josh Thoreau, the assistant athletic director here at the 2A private school just off of Lake Street and the Mississippi River. Elliott, that's off the mark. Elliott, whoa, she got a deflection. Maybe that's why it was off the mark. Because Elliott usually is pretty solid, especially down low. A little tougher to see, though, because my angle is not the typical vantage point. But we're doing our best. 12-6 our score, less than 7 to play. Minnehaha leads. Rhodes to her younger sister. Rhodes to Rhodes, looking for a road. Tomey to Kaminski, trying to find a road to the basket. Whoa! Tomey board, and both shots from Rhodes and Tomey come up short. Waseca, oh my goodness, they almost lost the ball in the end. Dribbling it up. They save it just in time. Waseca looking a little rattled perhaps. But they get the backdoor playoff, and Taylor Hiller scores. Waseca about 1 hour, 45 minutes from here, so maybe the long commute had something to do with it. But it's a 12-8 game now. Tatum off the screen. Doesn't see anything, so she'll go to Kaminski. Kaminski weaves through the double team, but the 14-footer is strong. Tomey with the board. Tatum Rhodes thought about the three, instead goes to Kaminski, who's hot from three-point range, but not that time. And the foul on Rhodes. Josh Thuro's voice, as you can hear, has returned. Dealt with the virus the last time we were here, and Waseca with the possession arrow after the jump ball. .541 left, low scoring first half. And a foul on Waseca before the inbound. Kaminski to Scharf. Look out, that pass headed for the Waseca bench. We mentioned Joan Conway in her third season. When she's not coaching the players, she is tutoring some of them. She is a calculus teacher at Waseca High School. And she said teaching the students, as surreal as that might seem, helps them see how they are as students, and that helps her when she's coaching because she's able to connect with the kids, having that first-hand experience with them during the day. Scharf inside the line, short. Ball is tipped, and won by Tomey. Rhodes in trouble. Tatum gets out of the jam, and will go to Kaminski to reset. Now back to Tatum Rhodes, left alone from the corner. Bullseye. Minnehaha has hit 3 of their last 4 3-pointers, I believe. But a foul underneath.
Number 15, Gracie Gilbert, coming back to the Red Hawks.
And Waseca's going to call a timeout. Minnehaha on a 9-2 edge since the score was even at 6. Waseca, as we mentioned, won the East Division of the Big South Conference. And while the state tournament hasn't entered the thought of these kids, they're learning how to compete in those big games. And much like the smaller schools, Waseca is one of the smaller 3A schools, but much like those other areas, they have more than just athletes. As we mentioned, a lot of these kids multitask, take part in several activities. Band is a huge extracurricular program at Waseca, competing in several Midwest competitions. Music, a very valued asset for the Blue Jays. Rolling among them, she is the drum major for the Marching Jays and a first chair all-state trumpet, and will likely attend college for music education. Simmons is also another band participant, and Hyam as well. And those are just the starters. Minnehaha ball. No foul was called, so just a dead ball turnover to the Blue Jays. No three-pointer from Tara Rhodes. And last touch by Tomey. It will go to Waseca. And one reason for the high team GPA, especially with those longer road trips, the Waseca roster will do their homework assignments, and they might want to look at an on-court one, as Madison Galoff was trapped on the baseline and stepped. Megan Thurrow going back in and replacing Angela Scharf. Both are seniors. Kaminski to Gilreath. Gilreath was looking left, goes up the middle instead. Kaminski off the screen. Lots of curls. Kaminski, that was a tough shot. And Lily Tomey is in trouble, trying to get back up. Meanwhile, Waseca on the other end gets a layup for Madison Galoff. And Tomey is still struggling. I didn't see what happened. 4:09 left. We have an injury timeout to Lily Tomey, the 6'1" senior center. An academic all-state candidate looking to play lacrosse. Gets back up, but having some difficulty moving her right leg. I don't know what it was. We hope it's not serious. Coincidentally, the last time we were here, we saw a serious injury take place with Lexis Hughes when she stepped on the foot of another player. And Tomey trying to put weight on her right leg, not able to. She'll get looked at the trainer. Tough break. Tomey has come up big in some of these recent games in Minnehaha's 14-game win streak, and she is the starting center. Has not scored in this one. Goes to the bench where she will be looked at. A potentially scary situation for the senior center. So that could put the onus on folks like Avery New and Betsy Elliott to work in the post. Thurrow in trouble and throws it away. And a traveling violation. Sam Hiller couldn't put on the brakes. Line change subs for the Blue Jays. Rolling back in. Aubrey Hyam back in. Emily Karsten also on the floor. Waseca normally plays about 8 or 9. Elliott kicks out, and Tara Rhodes missing the triple. And a push on Megan Thurrow. That's going to be her first personal foul. Both teams still had a couple to give, but not quite what Josh Thurrow had in mind. First personal foul on Megan Thurrow. 15-10 with 3:41 left. A low-scoring first half, and Avery New made too much contact with rolling, and New picks up her first. Red Hawks are now out of fouls to give. We'll see what that does. Karsten left alone, too high. Had the lane all to herself and couldn't put it in. Elliott wins the scrap for the rebound. And Kaminski. Let's see what she does. Both Kaminski and Gilreath are leading the state in assists, among the leaders, I should say. New, the long deuce is off the mark. Gilreath is 4th, Kaminski is 6th in the state category. Karsten just not able to find a bucket. Here is Hyam going out to Emily Karsten. Brianna Karsten also on the floor for the Blue Jays. And a foul is called on Minnehaha, so bonus time here. It's on Tara Rhodes, that's her second. Tatum's going to go in her place. Emily Karsten missing the first 2 free throws. This team doesn't necessarily have a star player, but it's a senior-heavy group that molds this team together. And Emily Karsten, has to settle for the front end. She's 1 of 4 thus far. Kaminski going to Elliott, right into a triple team. Elliott, she walked, looked that way, was trapped, and Kaminski, I think, was trying to get herself out of the baseline, but put Elliott in a treacherous situation. Now Minnehaha applying a little full court press here. Seeing if Waseca can break their way out of it. Karsten having trouble. They do break it as she finds Madison Galoff. Galoff inside to Hyam. She kicks out. And bullseye! Brianna Karsten with her first basket. Good for 3. Rhodes was on the line, fakes it anyway. Gilreath back to Rhodes. Now she'll fire for real, and that rims out. Rebound rolling. Emily Karsten taking a tumble. Brianna Karsten spots up, drains her second. Waseca retakes the lead, 17-15. They've scored the last 9. And in a game without too many points, each run is big. Sarah Kaminski on target, but Etsy Elliott rips away the O board and comes up too strong. And the rebound by Rolling, 1 minute, 30 seconds left in the first half. Brianna Karsten out to Hyam, and Hyam is blocked by Gilreath. Don't let the 5-5 frame fool you. Gilreath, high IQ. Kaminski, they're not going to give up on Rhodes. Tatum still having trouble. Waseca, 2-on-1. Good blow by, but Brianna Karsten comes up empty. A tumble. Kaminski, her head takes a hit. Gilreath the strip clean. And a carrying violation on Rolling. A crazy sequence of the last 40 seconds here. Kaminski will take a breather. Maya Curtis is going to go in, and with 52.9 left, that's not a bad idea. It looked like Kaminski was okay, but I think Josh Thurl wants to be cautious here. Knows he has another 18 minutes, 50 seconds left. A low-scoring first half. Shooting has been problematic. Avery New will draw the foul and shoot 2. Avery New with a lot of potential, in the words of Josh Thurl. This season averaging 4.3 points per game. And on the boards, 3.4. Front end is short. 45.5 seconds left. Waseca has scored the last 9, and as we mentioned, in a low-scoring game, these runs become more crucial because you don't know if the other team will have a chance to respond or not. New missing both. Free throws not going in, not many of them though. To begin with. Hiller over to Galoff. 32 seconds. Rolling to Lusty. Lusty back out to Rolling. Rolling going baseline. Tries the reverse, no good. New almost had it, but the O-board goes to Rolling. To Lusty. I think Waseca will hold for the final shot here. That's indeed what they'll do. To Lusty. Fires. Got it. Long deuce is good. And the Blue Jays will end the first half with 11 points unanswered. They trail by 7. They now lead 19-15. in a score that would better resemble a football game than basketball, but that's how things go sometimes. We will pause and have first half stats and analysis when we return, but the Waseca Blue Jays hoping to end their season with a win to match their win total from 9 years ago, and Minnehaha hoping to increase their win streak to 15 games. We'll see what happens in half number 2, 19-15 the score. This is high school girls basketball. Welcome back to Bergstrom Court on the campus of Minnehaha Academy as we continue our coverage of high school girls basketball. Now, these games are tape delayed, but I can tell you the final game we'll have this season is the Twin Cities Girls Championship, and that will take place on Saturday, February 28th. As it stands right now, it would be Washburn and Como Park. And then after that, we're done because I have to help out on that other show to get highlights, and we also have to pay for the section games, and you know us, we are full of money since it grows on trees. Anyway, that will be our last game of the season, and then you'll just have to wait until next year. Or go to 45 and watch the championship games when they take place in mid-March. First half, not a very high-scoring one. Waseca leading 19-15. Megan Kaminski leading all players with 9 points. For Waseca, this is strange. Brianna Karsten has 6 points. Everyone else who has scored has 2. That includes Hiller, Madison Galoff, Kirsten Simmons, Talusty, Hyam, and Rolling. Talusty with the last basket. Also takes part in tennis and softball. Had 3 home runs in a game last year. She'll attend Augustana College in South Dakota for pre-pharmacy. Considered to have the best sense of humor on the team. Softball is her most prolific sport, but basketball is where her passion lies, and can get teams out of a box of 1 formation when she gets those 3-point shots. Hasn't had a chance to show that yet, but she's doing a better job at recognizing open shots. And Joan Conway mentioned this team as a whole is getting better at taking the initiative when they have an opening. Sometimes you get a little too pass heavy. There's Rolling for 3, and Waseca continuing their run. Rolling on the board with 5 points. And the Blue Jays have scored the last 14 in a row. Elliott inside, got it. That is where Elliott thrives, the paint. Now, we did see Tomey walk to the locker room under her own power, but I do not see her on the bench. And Simmons stepped on the line. Betsy Elliott forces her out of the playing area. So it does not appear Minnehaha is going to have their starting center available for the second half. I do not see Tomey on the bench. And depending on how long her absence is, that could really dampen Minnehaha's chances in the 2A bracket. Again, they are projected to get the number 1 seed. St. Croix Lutheran figures to be their toughest challenge. Their former conference foe in the Tri-Metro. And a double team from Kaminski and Rhodes, forcing Hyam out of her groove, and Rolling will inbound. Talusty off the screen, got it. 16 in a row for the Blue Jays. Well, I should say 16-2 run. Kaminski, 3-pointer is long, rebound Talusty. Simmons kicks out. Hyam. Yes. Mid-range J for Aubrey Hyam, and Waseca getting an offensive spark here at a critical juncture. Rolling with the steal. Gilreath speeds her way to her position and prevents a fast break look. Gracia Gilreath, a very crafty, agile, swift guard for the Redhawks, and one reason why they will be a contender in 2A, but she'll go out for now in place of Tara Rhodes. Inbounds pass, a little messy, but picked up by the Blue Jays. Taylor Hiller has it. And 1! Emily Karsten with the runner, and after about 15 tries at least, finally gets on the board. With a field goal, that is. She did get a free throw earlier. 1 of 4 thus far. And Karsten getting the bounce. Karsten, 2 of 5, has represented Waseca's entire output from the free throw line. And Waseca on a 21-2 run. And that run could expand. A steal by Hiller. Rolling, open for 3. No. Dead ball rebound to the Blue Jays. This will be a dose of irony. It was Minnehaha who went on a giant run against South when we were here 2 weeks ago, 23-3 run that allowed them to pull away. And here's Waseca putting in a big drive. In a game where scoring runs have been all but meaningless. Madison Galoff inside. 31-17. 23-2. Rhodes kicks out. Tatum. Short for 3. And Rhodes was losing her balance. Tara Rhodes, I should say. Could have had a deuce there. Minnehaha getting the rebound. They need points soon. They trail by 14. Curtis with a big-time triple. I think these kids in front of me want some airtime. Timeout by the Red Hawks. They have 2 remaining. Maya Curtis, a lefty who can put the ball on the floor and score, in the words of Josh Thoreau, and she did just that for the Red Hawks. On the season, Curtis averaging 4.1 points per game. And we mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Minnehaha stats are quite balanced because they are usually can get in so many players. They had so many blowouts, but these last few games, that hasn't been the case. Their last 2, only 5 players have scored, and that usually involved the starting 5. So we'll see what the Red Hawks do here. A 23-2 run going back to the first half for Waseca. And that gave them plenty of confidence. And as we noted before, Waseca seeing improvement and starting to believe in themselves. They mold together. Their collective is stronger than their parts. But Avery New with the rebound. Let's see if Minnehaha can get on a rally. That's going to be a charge on Kaminski for a second personal foul. Good job. I believe that was Emily Karsten who got herself set in time and waited for the contact. But Waseca gives up the inbounds pass. Kaminski doesn't have a lane, so she'll kick out, and the three-pointer's off the mark. New wrestles for the offensive rebound. Kaminski will try again. That also is off the mark. And the rebound to Emily Karsten. Taylor Hiller out to Rolling. Michaela Rolling, the career leader in steals for Waseca, holding the school record in that mark. Also is a 1,000-point scorer. Simmons, New, good defense. And it's a dead ball offensive rebound to the Blue Jays. Rolling, recognizes the baseline, but it goes off the backboard. Right idea. Deep three, too deep. Saved by Curtis. She'll take the three. That's short. Minnehaha might be playing a little too fast right now. 13:35 left in the second half. Rolling. That is a two. It looked like she was on the line. And the officials concur. She's up to 7. Minnehaha will throw it away. Michaela Rolling displays leadership qualities early on, and Conway actually has coached her since 8th grade. Before Conway took the varsity job, she worked in the lower divisions. Doesn't seek attention, and when she crossed the 1,000 point threshold, she told her coach she did not want to know when that basket occurred. And she's one who is looking to improve even in the wee hours of the morning. It's not uncommon for her to text her coach for feedback. Traveling violation on Sam Hiller. And to finish up on Rolling, she will be the one who tells her teammates things that Conway isn't able to do in timeouts due to time constraints. Rolling. Let's see if Waseca can get the transition look, and they will not because a traveling violation was called on Brianna Karsten. Nobody on Waseca has more than 7 points. But they lead by 13. That's not something too common. Tara Rhodes runs into a hole and ran into a trap. Now a scramble for the ball. Minnehaha with the arrow. But the Redhawks stymied on offense. They're not sure who the hot hand is right now. Curtis spotted up a little too long and gets the kiss off the glass. Maya Curtis with 5. Her season high, if you're curious, is 9. Healer faking the three-pointer. Waseca will run another set. They lead by 11 to Lusty. Finds Rolling in the paint, goes up, and is short. And the foul on Rolling, as Avery New came up with the rebound. Here come the line change subs again for the Blue Jays. Kaminski is going to go back in. You have to imagine if Minnehaha is going to work their way back, Kaminski is going to be a vital figure in that construction. Especially with Tomey not available due to injury. Thorough. That looks long, and it is. And three-point shooting has not gone Minnehaha's way, and that has only hampered their efforts tonight. Two teams we could see in the state tournament in their respective classes, Waseca in 3A, Minnehaha in 2A. Waseca not ranked. Curtis had an opening, passed it up. She is a 7th grader though, so maybe as she gets older, they recognize that more. Kaminski working to get some space, but the off-balance J is no good. And this rut of offense can only favor the Blue Jays. Bounce pass under the legs of Gilreath. Simmons up, and the foul. Foul's on Avery New, her second. 10:16 left in the second. Kirsten Simmons participates in volleyball, softball, band, and choir. Will go to Concordia College in Moorhead next year to play basketball in the MIAC. Described as a good communicator on defense, very vocal in practice, And no matter how big her opposing post may be, she's not afraid to take them on. She splits though, and Simmons, not the best of free throw shooters, 51%. Waseca just 3 of 7, but they haven't needed the free throw shooting tonight. Kaminski trying again. That's her 4th tray. Kaminski with 12 and gets the steal and the basket to follow up. Kaminski with a quick 5. Here she comes again, forcing another strip. And the foul is called on Waseca. Minnehaha waking up on defense. Sarah Kaminski. Her heroics have been summarized with great detail in these last few games and making some big plays here, scrapping for loose balls and catching Waseca off guard. Up to 14 points in a hurry. And Minnehaha trims a 12-point margin to 7. A little more manageable now with 9:35 to go. Gilreath steps into a 2. No. And the rebound by Simmons. Simmons out to Hiller. Now the younger Hiller has it, Taylor. That's Emily Karsten, I should say. And Taylor Hiller missing the three-pointer, a dead ball rebound to Minnehaha. Sam Hiller goes back in. But this game not over yet. Waseca, that 23-3 run, got them a 14-point lead. Now it's down to 7. Thorough pump fakes the 3. Kaminski, deep. No. Avery New, rebound, no. And can't come up with it the second time, but she draws a foul. So it will stay with Minnehaha. The foul is on Galoff. Her first. Neither team close to being in the penalty yet. Gilreath losing the ball to Taylor Hiller. And Waseca couldn't get the 2-on-1 play down. And a fast break chance wiped away. And they throw it away. Simmons losing her balance. Couldn't get to Galoff in time. Minnehaha needs a few more baskets, you have to imagine. They're going to need a little more help. Thorough has struggled tonight. Gilreath kicks out Kaminski. Still having some trouble with those threes. Maya Curtis wins the battle for the rebound. Passing a little sloppy here. Thorough in trouble. Gets the shovel off to Kaminski. She sees an opening in the lane and lays it in. Minnehaha calling timeout again. They have 1 remaining. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But what was a 14-point deficit is down to 5. Unofficially, I have Sarah Kaminski with 16 points. Scoreboard has her at 14, but I don't think Thorough minds too much either way. It was 9 out of the last 10 years for Minnehaha Academy state appearances, now that I recall my history. But Sarah Kaminski, 24 points in the win over Martin County West, 16 in the victory over Concordia yesterday. Even though that wasn't the lead scored, she didn't lead the team in that mark. Her presence has been a huge anchor of steadiness for the team. Missed the first 5 games, and the first game of the year, the Redhawks were crushed by Holy Angels, a team that got beat by Washburn later on. But after that game, I spoke to some of the players, and they told me after that loss, as Waseca almost threw it away. Well, held on to that thought. Let's see what they do here. They lead by 5. You can't get too relaxed in this state. There's a couple of turnovers, and things look very scary. Rolling. Three-pointer is short. Gilby with the rebound. Outlet pass to Maya Curtis, and she draws a foul on Rolling. The foul is Rolling's third. Thorough mentioned to his team that the year he won state had one of the worst games he ever had in his coaching career, a blowout loss to Bloomington Kennedy. That was actually the first time I covered that team. They end up winning the whole thing in 2A, that fun rivalry with Bram, as we often talk about. And that's the beauty of this season. It's long enough that you can have a bad game and still win the state championship later in the year. So one bad loss does not send you packing. Kaminski. Got to give her effort. Got to give her credit for the effort. Taking a lot of three-point shots. Rolling at the corner here. Waseca calling the Viking formation. Traveling violation before the foul. So Aubrey Hyam unable to get her way to the line. And the traveling violation was called before the foul. Joan Conway getting an explanation. .6:48 left in the second half, 34-29. This has not been the most polished of comebacks here for Minnehaha, but they are reducing the deficit. Same can't be said about the budget, but that's another day. Maya Curtis missing the three. Minnehaha shooting a lot of perimeter looks. They're having a tough time getting inside. And you wonder if Tomi's absence has something to do with it. Bullseye! Brianna Karsten. Waseca needed that one badly. They're up by 8. Now the pressure goes back to the Red Hawks. Curtis. Oh, left that one a little too soft. And a jump ball. Waseca has it. You could say Minnehaha's won the loose balls, but they're not finding the shots. And the foul on New before the shot. Minnehaha had 3 to give, 5:54 left. As you might have guessed, marching band may as well be a sport for the Blue Jays, and we'll have time to talk about that because Joan Conway calls timeout. Her team leads by 8. Waseca looking to match their highest win total in 9 years, 2005-06. As we mentioned, that was the last time their program recorded 21 wins, but that's not an accolade you may hear about because even though they had a strong year, they got upset in the first round of sections. Back then, they were in Section 1, 3A, as they are now. And they lost to Lakeville South before they moved up to 4A. Well, that's the joy and the agony of single elimination tournaments. They were 21-3 and hadn't been a factor since, but this year, different story. As we mentioned, Waseca, band is another sport, but the kids also volunteer their time at K-3 events in the southern Minnesota town. Waseca, this is their style. This is the favorite style of play they want. And with no shot clock, they can take as much time as they want. But Gracia Gilreath gets the steal. Bounces over to Rhodes. Count the basket. Tara Rhodes with her first field goal. shot a ton of threes, couldn't get those to fall. Gets a three-point play chance here, and Waseca is now out of fouls to give. The foul is on Aubrey Hyam. No player in serious foul trouble. There's a couple with 3, but nobody with 4 yet. But Minnehaha has a chance. And now they can stop the clock anytime they draw a foul. Rhodes completes a three-point play. He was averaging 6.8 points per game coming in. And Conway has to call a bailout timeout call with 5:15 left. Waseca was not able to get the inbound play in. So we mentioned a lot of the Waseca kids volunteer their time on Saturdays to coach the K-3 teams. They also took part in a Coaches versus Cancer fundraiser, raised about $2,000 in the span of an hour. And we mentioned Conway being a calculus teacher and getting a chance to see these kids during the day. And he said it helps her not only because she can see how they are in the classroom, but if they're not having a good day, she knows about it beforehand, so she can approach them with a sense of tact that other coaches might not be able to do. And conversely, Josh Thurrow from Minnehaha gets a chance to see these kids as well as the assistant athletic director, and spends a lot of time officiating, as we've noted before, and that included a brief stint with the National Football League back in the 2012 season when replacement officials were used during the referee strike. Thurrow applied and worked 4 preseason games and 3 regular season games. Was not involved in the infamous Packers-Seahawks debacle. Actually mentioned only 1 challenge was called in the 3 games he was involved in, but he enjoyed getting to travel and going to different cities, and said if he ever got the chance, he would apply again. On a local front, well, he's going to see Rhodes get the steal, and she'll back off. Good idea. Didn't have the numbers to push. Kaminski. Oh, well, I don't know if she was looking for Elliott. Well, that's no good, but the high carom. Rhodes had it. Well, she comes back up with it. Minnehaha very observant here in these last few possessions, but they're going to need some points. They have not led since the 15-8, well, since the 15-14 mark early in the first. May not be a lot of points, but if they can get a win, they would feel pretty good. Kaminski draws a foul, and it's a shooting foul, so she'll go to the line. Sarah Kaminski, scoreboard has her at 14. I've got her at 16, or may have skipped those 2 points that she got off the inbound play. Either that or I'm not paying attention. Any case, Kaminski averaging 13.8 points per game. As we mentioned, missed the first 5 games. Came back at the start of the calendar year and continues to dominate. As we mentioned, 6th in the state in assists. At 5.4 game, also gets 3.9 steals, but she only splits. Rolling with the fast break deuce. Rolling to 9. Waseca up by 6. Oh, and the skip pass was picked off. Tatum Rhodes did not see Waseca's coverage properly. And they can eat up some clock here. Minnehaha's going to have to go for some steals, you imagine, with 4 minutes to go, because Waseca is not going to be in a hurry to score. As we've noted, their highest point total this season, I think, is in the 70s. Oh, a foul on Minnehaha, as Galoff had a chance to put down the dagger. Well, I was right. The highest point total this season was 79 against Stewartville, 79-55. But again, that is not their style. They average about 54 points per game. So Waseca going to play keep away here. Minnehaha has 1 more foul to give. They may have to think about using their fouls here because Waseca is not going to give up the ball here. Scramble for the ball, won by Waseca. And Rhodes gets up. Waseca opts not to push. They had an open look, I thought, and now Kaminski's going to get hit with a third foul, and now both teams in the bonus. Again, with Waseca having a 6-point lead, 2 possessions, and the style of play that emphasizes defense, they are not going to be in a hurry to push things. So Minnehaha is either going to have to get them to the line or force steals, and Waseca just 3 of 7, so they have not demonstrated great accuracy. This might be an option Minnehaha has to take if they want to win this one. Minnehaha winning 14 in a row. That win streak in danger now. Waseca looking to end their regular season with the win. They'll start section play next week down in Section 1. Castle Manorville and Winona have a higher ranking based on QRF, but we'll see how the coaches vote. Galoff inside, got it. You knew Waseca was going to wait until they had an absolutely clean look. Now Minnehaha is going to have to hurry, and shooting has not been their forte tonight. Nor was that the case yesterday in the win over Martin County West, and Avery New. Jump ball. New did not read the bounce pass properly. Minnehaha with the arrow, but 2:05 left, running out of time, and just 1 timeout remaining. Poor shooting may cost the Red Hawks here. Rhodes, that looks off, and it is. Less than 2 to go. Low scoring game, but Waseca getting on that 23-2 run, and that appears it's going to be more than enough to hang on for the win. Once again, Galoff down low. Two possessions in a row where Minnehaha has abandoned her in the paint. Galoff has made them pay. She's up to 8 points, and I think you can notch the 21st win of the season for the Blue Jays. Waseca, looking at their schedule, they've had some trouble against, well, Waconia was one of the teams they played. New Prague, they lost to them 73-57. This would be a quality win to their schedule. And would only strengthen their case to make their way in the 3A state tournament field. Now, Park Center and Orono are the front runners in that group this year, but sometimes getting in is the first step. Minnehaha, again, not too concerned about this game and what it does to their standings or rankings, because they beat Concordia, a team in their section. They beat Martin County West, a team they could face in state. They've won the IMAC. They've done everything. They've accomplished most of their goals. Their next one is the state tournament, but Megan Thoreau isn't giving up on this team yet. She gets her first field goal, scramble for the ball, and Thoreau's not going to get there in time. Kaminski won the battle, but unable to find Thoreau and get another possession going. 43-36. Well, the scoring has been a little higher in this half. Kaminski with the steal, goes up and draws the foul with 1:12 left. We had 34 total points in the first half, and here we have 44, maybe a little bit more. The foul is on Rolling, her fourth. And this was a shooting foul. So Kaminski, a great individual game for the junior. And she makes both. And we mentioned if Minnehaha could turn this into a free throw game, they could get an edge here. And this is that time. They've got a foul here, you would think, unless they can force one. 1:01 left. There's still plenty of time, and Waseca has not demonstrated great marksmanship at the charity stripe. 1:01 left. You've got to think foul and chase if you're the Red Hawks. They're trying to force the steal, and that's will only elapse more time here. Waseca making great passing reads. Now the foul comes. They let 17 seconds elapse though. And with Minnehaha not having too many players in foul trouble, I might have gone a little bit sooner. Again, if this were me, this is only my opinion, but I would seek to extend the game. This is a 1-on-1 situation for Rolling. And she misses, but Minnehaha, I thought they touched it, but it goes off of Simmons, so. A second and a half ticks off though. Rolling a 72% free throw shooter, but comes up empty there. Kaminski needs this one badly. No. And that, I think Minnehaha a little too desperate on those three-point attempts. They've been stuck on that perimeter most of this game. Waseca doing a great job denying the interior. I would have tried to go inside there. 1-on-1 scenario for Katie Talusty. And she misses. Redhawks, they've got to get points. There it is! A corner three from Tara Rhodes. It's a 2-point game. They've got a foul. And there it is with 14.6. 14.6. 2-point game, still a 1-and-1. And here comes Madison Galoff. 51% free throw shooter. And again, free throws have not been going in for the Blue Jays. This game not over yet. 2 big free throws perhaps. There's the first. The next makes it a 2-possession game. Galoff with a couple of great backdoor plays. Making those clutch points. Comes up short. Battle for the rebound. Waseca had the arrow, but it goes to Minnehaha. A 3 will tie it. They need a 3. 5 seconds. Kaminski. That's an air ball, and that's going to be off the mark. Avery knew no, and Minnehaha, in desperation, rushes it and had a little bit more time. Unfortunately, there will be no comeback this time. 44-41 is the final. Waseca ends Minnehaha's 14-game winning streak, and the Blue Jays will end the season matching their best win total in 9 years. The regular season record will be 21-5. Minnehaha has one more game to regroup with Heritage Christian. That game will take place on Friday. We'll try to get word with the Waseca players in what was a thrilling finish, but coming up just short for the Red Hawks. Waseca winning 44-41. This is high school girls basketball on TSP Television. And I'm here with Waseca, a couple of players of the game. Madison Galoff next to me, and Michaela Rolling is to her right. And it's not too often where the winning team doesn't get a double-digit score, but that was the case tonight for you guys. A very defensive-minded team. How did that play out tonight?
I don't know, we went hard at it, and we wanted to get it really badly, and we had to close out on shooters, and yeah.
What would you say, Michaela?
We knew who the threats were and who we needed to protect for the most part, and we figured if there was a different threat we didn't know about that we'd adjust. But we just always play with this defensive mindset that if we don't play defense and we don't lock down on defensive end, then we're never going to win and nothing else really matters.
Well, you've won 21 games this year, matching your best total in 9 years. That's a long time. So what does it mean to not only match that mark, but also end Minnehaha's 14-game winning streak?
I think it just goes to show like what our team can accomplish and the potential that we can reach here. We've been working very, very hard at practice, and we've just progressively been getting better and better and better playing these hard teams that we've been playing. It's been so fun and such a good time.
What about you, Madison?
I love this team so much. I'm so thankful to be able to play with such a great team. Definitely defense, we locked down tonight.
And speaking of lockdown, you did that in the closing minutes, getting a couple of backdoor plays when Minnehaha was trying to get steals. So how did you manage to stay so calm in that situation, and how big were those baskets?
I just thought to myself, you just have to get open and just look for the right play and then just finish.
And Michaela, 9 points for you, and it was tough to find some offense at times, and Minnehaha doing a great job at getting the loose balls. So how do you weather through a team that was number 3 in 2A?
I would just say that defense is so important that even when it's hard to find the offense, we can oftentimes, if we play good defense, we can get a good transition, make the defense scramble a little bit, and then we can find a really open shot. And another thing we've been working on is patience on offense. And the more that we are able to set screens and take our time, the better shot we're going to get.
Now, your coach mentioned that a senior-heavy group that has really molded this team together. There are no stars. It's more of a collective. So how have you guys bonded together to give Waseca one of its best seasons in a long time?
Well, we've been playing together since we were in about 8th grade, and they are the best team to play with in the whole entire world. And I love every second that we get to play together because we just have so much chemistry playing together for all of these years, and it's paid off so much. Oftentimes we know where our person is on the court without even seeing them because you just have that connection with your team, and it's so useful.
How would you assess things, Madison?
Just coming to this team and having all those seniors there and be able to feel part of the team with their chemistry and me coming into it. Yeah.
Now, I understand band is a huge cultural phenomenon down in Waseca, and as I understand, Michaela, you are a drum major and all-state trumpet as well. So tell me, how big is band, and I guess maybe what are some similarities between band and basketball, and how does the musical talent unite that school?
It's definitely helpful, especially when we have the pep band there, because it just ignites a whole new atmosphere into the gym, and it gets us so even more excited than we already are for a game. And it's so encouraging to have all that support there. And as far as what you learn in there and applying it here, there's so many leadership things that you can take, from being drum major or even just being in there that you can take and apply out on the court, learning how to keep your cool and catching your breath and stuff like that. It's really awesome.
And what about you, Madison, having all of these teammates who are musical prodigies?
It's awesome. I mean, just with the leadership there, band definitely helps with that. And like Michaela said, when the pep band plays, it's huge.
So your regular season is now finished, so obviously you love to make state, but what are your plans as you get ready for the section playoffs?
We're just going to go at it. We know the potential that we have, and we're just going to keep trying to reach it. In every game and every practice, we're never going to stop getting better. And we're going to, all the way to the end of the season, we're going to progress.
What about your plans, Madison?
Absolutely what Michaela said. We're definitely going to go hard in practice every single day and just feel so blessed for having that talent there.
And finally, anyone you want to say hi to that will watch this on Prep 45 or online or on TV?
Guess my parents, so hi. Thank you for everything.
And same for you, Michaela.
Same thing as Madison. Love my parents, and I love my team.
Got to give the shout out to the parents, or that dinner table conversation could get very awkward. All right. Congratulations on your 21st win of the season. Perhaps we'll see you back at state, but a great game, a strong defensive showing, a well-played effort. Hope that hour and 45-minute commute back will be enjoyable as you return to southern Minnesota.
Definitely.
Movies and food.
Movies, food, and victory for Waseca. Madison Galoff and Michaela Rolling. They win 44-41. For everyone here, I'm Mike Beaton. Thank you for watching High School Girls Basketball.